to the Harold Knows Nothing podcast. What's up? Setting it off pretty much like how I started it, by myself. Brothers should be coming in a little while. Uh, but we can start it off. We're late as hell. We're like 2 hours late, man. Yeah. But I still wanted to get in because I said I was going to do the mother. First off, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. Okay? Real talk. Let's clap it up for the mothers. Let's clap it up for the mothers. Real talk. Happy Mother's Day. To all y'all standing women that really participated and did it well and are trying. Happy Mother's Day. Clap for yourselves. I'm going to clap for you. I'm going to celebrate you. That's right. All right. Let's settle in there. So let's get to it. So me and my brother took my mom out. Also had the girlfriend and the son. Um, so just a Mother's Day thing, you know. People, you know, out and about. We wanted to do Michael Jackson, Mike Jack for mom. So me and my brother Scott Black Rambo, and he arranged it. Um, Took mom to see Mike Jackson the movie, and my thoughts on it. It's a lot. It's a lot. First, I want to say it was a good movie. I would suggest go check it out. If it's your first introduction to Mike, it's like how to say this, Mike Jack for idiots. That's what this is. So you're gonna get some things because I lived through it because I'm older. So some things because I lived through it. Let me look at the camera. I'm so sorry. Some things because I lived through it. I'm a little bit older. Um, I knew some of the timeline things were off with, like, say, Bubbles or um, Ben the Rat. You know what I mean? Now it's a um, I don't know, guinea pig or whatever. But so there's a lot of stuff there, a narrative recreation that's going on. People want to talk about a lot of the sensationalized parts of Michael Jackson's career with the accusations that to this day I knew was unfounded, that it was more of a money grab, etc., etc. Right? So we have that right there. I need to get a little bit more comfortable. I mean, sorry, yeah. I have a lot, so you know what I mean. I can always get back up. I don't know, but anyway, like I was trying to say to you guys, um, you see me? All right. I'm just keeping my eyes roaming a little bit to make sure that if my brother pops in or not. You know what I mean? So anyway, I think that people really want to see the sensationalized part of MJ, not Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, and they were disappointed when it wasn't an opportunity like that. However, I did, being that Jermaine is like executive producing, his son's like, portraying Mike and all this stuff. I will say for me, especially some of the angles of the son, because he does look like his father, Jermaine. Um, I felt like Jermaine wanted to be Mike. And then thus Jermaine gets to tell the story of Mike because Mike's not here to tell his own story. Because Mike wanted to be mysterious, right? Isn't that what it was in the movie? So very convenient how if you're not around to tell your own story, that someone else will. Yeah. Um, Not a big fan of Joe Jackson from any accords that I've heard. However, I will say for the tools that the man possessed, still working, not making an excuse for an abusive relationship, but from the tools that he had set, no kids were strung out on drugs, teenage years. No time was wasted. I didn't agree with much of the corporal punishment and the insinuation of such things. However, I got to get back to my initial point. He took him from Gary, Indiana. I've been through every part of Gary, Indiana. Um, there's a fish joint out there that I love to death. Anyway, even them boys from Chicago was like, man, them boys from Gary is crazy. And full circle, um, Tate is playing Quincy Jones. Tate's from Gary, Indiana. Tate, Alonzo Tate or whatever. Lorenzo Tate is from Gary, Indiana. So that's a full circle moment too. That I don't know if a lot of people picked up on in the movie if you follow careers a little bit. So Gary is a rough place to come out of, even to this day. So what I'm saying is he took him out of that from the steel mill to the heights. How he did it, there was never reports of molestation or anything weird like that. Corporal punishment, bullying, yes. Wrong, absolutely. Better way to deal with your children, absolutely. However, he bred and made a superstar. Don't cast him aside because his practices were, you know, stupid as fuck. Come on, he was willing to deal with Don King, a known gangster with it. So what people will do to hold on to the reins is ridiculous. They're musical, they're music royalty. So there's always going to be, especially in this climate and today, there's always going to be available something via social media or a reality show or something because of the family bloodline that can stretch a very, very, very long way. So all that shouts to Joe Jackson. I know it's going to be an unpopular opinion, but I I stand on it. Being a father, trying to give the right guidance. Again, the corporal punishment way too much. You know what I mean? But the psychosis of the kids being scarred at a very young age, that comes with it. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. And never once was it expressed that he didn't want to be a star or perform. Even in the movie, like he didn't like people forcing him, or who does, and or making them, accountable. Especially, come on, whooping your ass because you're getting a note wrong, some stupid shit like that. No one is agreeing to that. By the way, but outside of that, he still wanted to be the best. He still wanted to be the flyest. He still wanted to, have the hits. He still wanted to make his movement. Of course, this narrative that you're seeing with that is told on the side of Jermaine, who to me, um, there's some kind of transference there with him wanting to be Mike, have the outcome that Mike would have had the fame and the accomplishments that Mike had. You know what I mean? And at the end, you know, it's a lot. Definitely something that warrants 4 and 5, like a 5-part series type thing. You know what I mean? But really in depth. This was more entertainment than absolutely informative. Um, thought the writing was good. Knowing the timeline from being, 54, um, I was right there, dead set in the middle of Michael Mania. So I wanted the buttons. I wanted that jacket. I never got it. Thank God. Those pictures would have haunted me, right? But the I was right in the middle of that. So being right in the middle of it gives me a different perspective as a fan, as a person living, and the information being so important to me that no, those timelines would stand out. Okay, simple as that. Everything else, um, it was entertaining. I did love that my mom was typical black person in the theater, turned up, getting very loud. Girl was just watching it really intently, finding out things that maybe they didn't know, and then putting together pieces and clues because there was that pop side of bike that everybody experienced, and then there was the casual fan, and then you know knowing him from the chitlin circuit type fan too. So this was like you grew up with him. You know what I mean? He was very young. I thought he was older when he died. He was only 50. So that was sad. And so honestly, he was famous so young that we kind of, you know, take for granted, just the how long he was in the game. So he transitioned at 50, and he's been famous since arguably 10 or a little bit beforehand. So you're looking at a 40 plus year run of extreme pressure and people eating off of you and feeding off of you, off your talent, off your ego, you know what I mean? Off your weaknesses. Um, by no means a weak man in negotiating and willing to stand his ground on certain things. He played a role and he played it well. Many people who knew him close said he actually had a deeper voice. And so one thing was for the other thing, or maybe it's just a joke around, but the bottom line was he could carry it how he wanted to carry it. He knew how to manipulate and play the game. All right. He had this thing, this dysmorphia, morphia, or something. It's a DDA or ADD or something. But it just makes you always question and want to, you know, trim your nose or do something. I grew rather fond of my big ass nose. Um, it became all right. This is me. You know what I mean? I was teased with the big nose thing. I didn't even if I had the bread, I wouldn't be going and chopping my shit up. This is what it is. This is beautiful to me. This is handsome. This is it. You know what I mean? So for that type of pressure and that type of lack of empathy from his father is where I see a problem. But everything else, well, and it's a lot of everything else, but a lot of other things, as far as his drive and getting the family and making it always about the family. Yeah, maybe he wanted to control the rings, but he said something very, very powerful in that movie. And that was once you like leave here, no one's gonna understand you like your family. So Joe understood that I've had you underneath thumb for the longest of time. I bullied you for the longest of time. But I did protect you for the longest of time because I knew how you thought at times was odd. It wasn't maniacal. It wasn't evil. It wasn't anything like that. But how he, some talented people still have questionable thinking. And I'm not talking about molestation because I don't believe he did any of that. I'm talking about as far as with him not having a childhood, and if they were your friend, they'd be like, yo, come on, let's go see Mike Jack. Like, you didn't have a person you can trust or rely on that wasn't going to say anything and everything, and you had a very controlling family and father. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of mess. And so he knew that he knew that some of his thinking was that of a child, so he always wanted to play and be amongst the children. Like, his favorite thing that he kept referencing back was the Peter Pan book, for Christ's sake. You know? That's the kid that never grew up. You feel me? So Joe knew he needed protecting. Did he want to profit and pimp it out as long as possible? Absolutely he did. You know what I mean? But and no excuse for him. He deserves no forgiveness for that. Put your family first and make sure that it's there for them, and for them to exercise. Exercise wisdom if they're a little too young, a little too wild, or brash. But um, don't be the bully. Don't be the gatekeeper like that. Um, well, again, his examples were gangsters, you know, pimps, and ruthless record execs. You know what I mean? So this is who you learn from. The depiction of their father in this particular movie, I think Randy spared him enough to see a little bit of humanity, but not much. But not much. Apparently, um, Randy can hold a grudge. Again, thought the movie was great. That's pretty much my review until my brother gets here. Mom loved it. Everybody there, I loved it. It didn't get a standing ovation, but it definitely got some applaud. At the end, they definitely did a Jackson X job with it, which means it was tight. The thriller part was tight. Um, though some of those angles, it definitely didn't scream Mike to me. It screamed Jermaine. Um, but Jeff Hart's the son, so that's what it screamed to me. Let me tell you this. There we go. Oh man, is that Regina? Is that Regina? You're up late. I just had to clap it up for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to clap it up for you. I'm gonna fade it out too. See, I'm faded out. Boom. Look at that. I am such a professional. Um, I was just giving my
Kudos.
review on the Mike Jack movie. I loved it.
Oh,
Yeah, I liked it.
so.
I didn't agree with everything in it, but I loved it. I thought it was a
Mm-hmm.
good freaking movie. I thought it was the Jackson clan at one of them at their finest. You know what I mean? The last person that could, you know, put out some truth and put out some propaganda and, be the one he wanted to be. I think Jermaine um, produced this movie. His son Jafar was playing Mike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, every Jermaine's cheekbones was probably the highest out of all the Jackson, including including Janet, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
Jermaine has a distinct look, and from angles, it looked more like Jermaine
Hmm.
than anything. Okay, that's what I was getting. But some of the angles and some of the things was still pretty good, to be real honest. You know what I mean? But if you lived through it, some of it it didn't scream all the way, but it was very entertaining. I thought. Um, I thought he tried to give. I think he gave Joe Jackson a little bit more humanity than people
Mm.
wanted him to. I think people
Mm-hmm.
also wanted to get the sensationalism out the way, but it wasn't in that time period that the people came after him. So by then they're
Mm.
clipping the movie at the end. You know what I mean? This you're
Right.
talking a 40 plus year career here. You know what I mean? So the beginning is so important. The ending not as much. You know what I mean? They did, they just took it through what they took it through. You know what I mean? That the known things. He's had a lot of nose surgeries. He had the DD or whatever it's called, the thing for dysphoria or where you always want to do the plastic surgery on yourself. It's a real thing.
Oh,
And then he
okay.
also had the skin unconditioned, um, which I knew a girl from back in the day, Reese, who had that condition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a real thing. So, there was a lot of things were true at the same time, but people were trying to paint these nasty narratives. But just what he went through and his talent, it screamed through the movie. But I think his brother trivialized it down to a few points. And
Mm.
even though the movie you can't give everything, there was the significant things he gave with the Pepsi thing and the those things that was good stuff, but there was so much more. There was so much more. There was so much more. There was
So
so
much more
much
that
more.
they could have covered.
Yeah, I just think there was just so much more. It, because again, my age, 54, I lived through it. I was there for the buttons. I was a real, fan of what I could afford.
Mm-hmm.
So, so living through it is different. When you live through something, an artist, if you live through an artist that inspired you, that influenced you, you're gonna recall more. You know what I mean? You're gonna be a little bit more sharper. So when somebody gives you something painted, you're gonna be like, all right, this might be a little bit off for me. You know what I mean? And then when
Yeah.
you know who it is, it was like, oh my God. You know the whole story with Jermaine. He stayed with Motown.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Not
what I
that I
mean?
actually knew that, but continue.
Yeah, he stayed with Motown. He married Barry Gordy's daughter.
That I know.
This is not the first movie about Michael Jackson in the history of Michael Jackson.
True.
The other one had Boys the Men in it. And you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
they were the people that were trying to punk or bully the Jacksons, and they got it mixing it up because the other movie showed more of they came from Gary. And if you know about Gary, Indiana, you know what I mean. Lorenzo Tate is from Gary and Gary, Indiana, which is the full circle. You know what I mean. But it's a rough place to come out of. People from Chicago actually, I ain't gonna say fear him, but they don't go out their way to bump heads with him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what Chicago's on. So what I'm saying is Mike Jack came from a serious situation. You know what I mean? A serious neighborhood. I'm not saying like Bloods and Crips in California, but definitely you the soft voice that's portrayed didn't mean he couldn't hook off on you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So the father had to rear kids in that neighborhood and that environment, being a Jehovah Witness, from the steel mill to this to the top. I just thought that sometimes somebody's got to show a little bit more humanity for the father. Was the corporal punishment too much? Absolutely. Was he bullying? 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
But th- I still don't. I see that with coaches on the football field. I see. You know what I mean? I see it. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the result that he got for his kid was crazy. The mental conditions that he ignored, he should have been more um, admonished for than maybe say the corporal. You know what I
Mm.
mean? The
What mental
ignoring of the
conditions?
condition. But no, I'm talking about the conditions. Him going in there getting nose surgery until he ain't got no nose. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me?
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
don't, come on, some real shit. You know,
No,
taking
I was
medications,
just no, I was just talking about. Mm-hmm.
Mike's taking Remember, he died under taking two medication that he should not have been taking, especially not
Right.
being monitored. You know what I mean? So there was a part in the movie that his father said, "Hey, listen, yeah, I know you don't mess with me. You know, you don't like me, but no one's going to understand you outside of here." So, in other words, is when Mike had his hair on fire, the first thing
Mm-hmm.
he said is, "Mike is going to want to perform. When are you going to be able to get back out there?" That was terrible. That was terrible. For a father to even say. It should be, is my son gonna be okay? I just want him okay. You know what I mean? So that right there was terrible. But here's a bigger understanding though. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? When all this stuff is unfolding, you know what I mean? And he's pushing, and Mike wants to, go do his own thing, and people want to tell that part of the story. But what people are not telling is his father knows that he's operating emotionally when it comes to psychologically when it comes to kids, as if he talks to the poor and disenfranchised kids that he can help. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Some of the richer kids, they will get their kids pushed into that scenario. But most of the time he was with the sick kids. You know what I mean? And so it's crazy. And a lot of these things that happened back in the day, remember, a lot of people came forward and told the truth and said he ain't do nothing. The parents twisted their arm, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the truth came out anyway that he wasn't no monster like that. But because of the psychosis that he had and him mutilating his body to a certain degree, you know what I mean? And him bleaching his skin because, he's trying to figure out, how is he going to present himself. you know, he's walking the living song. Is he black or is he white? In black,
Mm-hmm.
I'm white. You know what I mean? It's like he's walking that shit. So, he had a lot of shit going on, but he wasn't that monster. And I just don't think that Joe was totally that monster because ultimately he was still getting the family out. What was it, 9 of them? It was a lot of them.
Let's. I think there was nine. I think it was Marlon that had a twin that only lived 2 or 3 days.
Okay. So eight that survived, 9 kids. So I mean, at the end of the day, like real talk, bravo. You know what I mean for even getting it out there. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. So again, I'm not trying to excuse the things that he should have done better, but at the end of the day, Joe did what he did, what he could do with the tools that he had, and should have made some better decisions. But he damn sure told Mike the truth. The world ain't gonna treat you or love you like your family do right here. Hey, it's Scott in the building. I knew he was gonna make
Good.
it before we got up out of here. Thank God, but we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it together. Hey, I started off. I appreciate my mom coming in here and there. I appreciate. Let me stop this. I appreciate my mom coming in here. Regina came in first. Saved the day. Came in, but I started off. I'll be honest, by myself, just like I started this pod off. Man, I started off myself in the corner of my house on a serious breakdown, mental breakdown, and this pod kept me going. So um,
Mm-hmm.
appreciate everybody showing up. Um,
Indeed. Good
Scott
evening,
was at
Scott.
the actual premiere of Mike Jack, Scott Blackman Rambo. We
Mm-hmm.
gave him the applause. He was there. Um, McLovin it. Uh,
Haven't made it there yet, but that's all right. I'll get there eventually.
mm. Well, I wanted to see it. This was when I told the
I'm
pod I
sorry,
was
I
going to
couldn't.
do it. What'd you say? You couldn't hear me?
No, I couldn't. I couldn't understand Regina.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm talking on these headphones.
I think she said she's going to get to see it eventually.
True. All right, is my
Oh,
volume too
it was a very
low?
entertaining movie.
I've heard. I mean, I've seen the clips, I've seen the previews. I was like, well, okay, for entertainment value alone, I'm sure it'll be great. I just wanted to understand what the storyline was going to be about because from what I had heard, they weren't going to delve too deep into the scandal, quote unquote.
Well, how
But
can you?
Harold
It
had
wasn't
already
during the
rehashed that,
timeline.
so
Yeah, the timeline didn't add up. It wouldn't add up. That was later. You know what I mean? That wasn't Michael Jackson Thriller. Wasn't Scandal. You know what I mean? It wasn't Off the Wall.
mm,
You know what I
mhm.
mean? It was later. That's what I'm saying. It's like people want to see the worst, so they want to see this, they want to see that. But what they really showed was just the human person coming up, being successful. They showed the Chitlin circuit. They showed certain things. They showed a little bit of Motown, not much, and then they went into the Thriller, and then they went into the burn the hair, and then they were gone. So they were out and that took 2 hours. And let me tell you something.
Yeah.
And True Jackson faction, they had 1,000 commercials. Am I lying, Scott?
Not at all. Not at
They,
all.
I mean, literally.
The advertisers definitely got their money's worth out of the. Yeah. But yeah,
So it was a lot of
definitely
hype.
very entertaining movie.
Yeah, it was
I
a very entertaining movie.
Have you discussed the actors who played certain parts, or were there any that particularly stood out? I mean, other than Jafar,
No, I said. Oh, you weren't even here. Like I said,
right?
I went over this, but I'm gonna run it back anyway. Lorenz Tate is
Hmm.
from Gary, Indiana. Okay, he played Barry
Got it.
Gordy in the movie. That's
Hmm.
some full circle shit. You know what I mean? If you want to say of note, because again, he came from that area by which Michael Jackson, which is still a rough area, and when Lorenz Tate was coming out of that area, because I was locked up with a cousin of his, that it's still a rough area. You feel me? And
Hmm.
also, Mike Epps comes from, um, I think Indiana, but I don't think it's Gary. I think he's out of Indianapolis, um, Indiana. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's out of Indianapolis. But regardless, the point is, Lorenz Tate is from Gary, Indiana.
Hmm.
So that was of note. You know what I mean? To one to play Barry Gordy, and to be from where Michael Jackson actually is from. So that's interesting, don't you think?
Hmm.
yeah, very.
Because he's not a Jackson. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Jafar, who's Jermaine's son. This is like somebody who's from Gary. You know what I mean? Who's had a successful career, by the way. Lorenz
Hmm.
Tate is no slouch. He's been as of late. He was in Power and some other thing he's doing. Well, this project that he just did. Though his role in it wasn't very long. They didn't show anyone too long. The longest people that got to run in the movie was, of course, Joe, the mom. Um, I
Now,
believe
how was
halfway
that?
through.
That was Nia Long playing
Yeah.
Catherine, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Suzanne DePass, she got a little bit longer than Barry Gordy, but not much.
Hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of people in the movie. It again. Neil Long was there. Um, Whoever played Joe Jackson, what's his name? Um,
I don't
and
know, but he did
he was a good monster. If you like a villain or a monster, he played a good
yeah,
monster. You know,
Antagonist. Yeah, he was
yeah,
a good
good
antagonist.
antagonist. Yes, excellent word. Excellent word. Good antagonist. I'm gonna send a shout out to at
You know,
Shannon
because
55. She's not here now because we came on late, but I know she would be here if we were on time. So I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 sharp at Shannon 55, no doubt. Just want to put that shout out there. So if I clip it up and it comes through at Shannon 55, will be noted. Had to do
Coleman
that.
Domingo, that was the actor.
All right, Carmen Domingo.
oh,
Coleman Domingo.
he definitely did a good job of playing a man from that time period. I think.
Well, yeah, I think he really he went for it. I think he definitely did a good job for the script that they gave him. He definitely did it. The bodyguard thing was a really curious thing. I would have loved maybe Vlad or one of them has some interviews with the bodyguard that was portrayed in there for such a long time.
Hmm.
I'd like to hear from him.
Yeah, it was
His
interesting
perspective
that
might be
Vin
a little bit
Diesel.
more pure than anyone else's. If that one could be discovered, I think I'll look into it now that I've seen the movie.
Yeah,
It's worth note for me to know, who that is and what he had to say. You know what I mean? Because I think he would know more than most of most of the people portrayed in there. Because he was with him for a long time and went with him over until the other thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think that bodyguard is
yeah.
a good place for me to start looking into. But Mother's Day was dope. Regina, you do anything for your mom today?
I cooked. That's what I
Okay.
did. I would have taken her out if I could have afforded it, but I cooked. And also, we had a Mother's Day service that I had to do tech on, so I was running here, there, and everywhere. Even had to look in the basement because I'm like, why is it not warm enough in this church? So yeah, I do a little bit of everything.
Damn.
But Mother's Day in and of itself was fine.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And in fact, I need to bounce out and bounce back in. I wanted to show this picture here, but you only see me and only a piece of her. So I'm going to jump out and jump back in.
Okay.
Right.
All right. She had to jump out and jump back in. Okay. And she'll be here momentarily, folks. I promise you. It will not be another introduction with the applause, of course. That's a one-time thing. We have a budget here, and that's how that's going. So you enjoyed the movie, Scott?
Yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I definitely feel like, especially for it to have been a long time, to the movies outing, I feel like I got my money's worth. You know,
Mm.
it was entertaining. You know, it was semi accurate. You know, depending on whose point of view you're looking from. But I enjoyed it for definitely for the entertainment value if nothing else.
Mm. Well, that's a different thing, Regina, right there. That's all lips. All right. Glad to have you back. You're on mute. I can see. Um, I think what they had accurate about Michael Jackson is that his name was Michael Jackson and that he did have a skin disease. His father was a dickhead. Um, but he definitely got him up out of there. And
Yeah,
Jermaine wanted to be Mike, and you weren't Mike. And from certain angles, it looked like Mike because bears some of the family resemblance, but from a large thing because of his Jermaine's the way his cheekbones is and everything, it's definitely you can tell it's Jermaine's son. So kudos to you. You've put out a movie where you gave your perspective of your brother. How you viewed him, how you seen him. You know what I mean? It's a biased movie. It's a good movie. It was very entertaining. I thought so. I would recommend it. Um, if it puts you down the road to find out about Mike and the element with the wanting to do the self mutilation, so you can be careful stuff like that and everything else. I think it would be a good cautious tale for certain things. Um, good movie. Good movie. Good movie. I think the earlier movie that was done was a little better. Uh-oh. Do you hear that? Now there's a lot of echo. What
Yeah.
is going on? All right. Hello? Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. There was a little
I
echo on
can.
it. Yeah, but there was echo for a second. You still got a delay
Yes,
over
it
there.
sounds like there's a little bit of reverb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? And it wasn't any reverb before, so.
Now, it wasn't. There wasn't any reverb from you, but there was some from Regina. That's why I couldn't understand what she had said.
Oh, okay. Hey, Regina, you okay? I mean, I see you in the building, but your microphone is off. It shows, and yeah, maybe it's her situation.
Hello. Better.
What's up? Before
Okay.
there was a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of reverb. How about now, Scott?
Clear.
Okay.
All right.
Check 1, 2.
Okay, Mrs. Hip Hop. Check 1, 2.
Yeah.
The hell
Grew up
out
in
of
that.
here.
We all grew up in that era.
No, you didn't. You didn't grow up in that era. You grew up on nothing but gospel music, girl. If you don't stop
No,
it.
that's partially true, and only because my mom would play her 33s on that big piece of furniture stereo. So yes, I
Did
grew up
did you
with it because of her.
did you go to Raj Records?
No, actually, I didn't. When I would buy records, I would actually go to, believe it or not, G Fox, their record store on the mezzanine floor.
Oh my God. Yeah, you definitely was suburban with it. You were definitely suburban with it. That's just all the way suburban. She did not go to Rod's Records.
I knew
Wow.
Ross Records.
And
Trust me.
remember, they had two of them. They had
Hmm.
two. And remember,
I
they
only
had two
care.
of them. One,
I
one
only
over there
only
on
cared about
Barber
Barber
Street,
Street.
and one on Albany Avenue.
Yeah, but the one on
Hmm.
Auburn Avenue was nothing.
Hmm.
The only thing that mattered was right there on Barber Street because that was
And the
our
other
hood.
And the other
Matter
thing
of fact,
too is that it's like mom and I moved around a lot from the time I was born, shucks, till I got into my 20s. I shucks, when I was born, we lived on Edgewood Street. Then we moved to East Hartford. Then we moved to Bellevue Street. Nope, take that back. We moved a lot. That's all I can tell you. Most within the
Everybody
oh
did
06
back in
one
the
two oh.
day. A lot of people did back in the day. I moved all the way from New Jersey to Staten Island to Connecticut. So, the journey is real. And lived
Yeah.
uh, from here to California. So, you get around.
Mm.
You get
So
around.
yeah,
But yeah,
so
you didn't go. You went to G Fox. You was on a different level. You had goals. You know what I mean? You had goals if you went to your record store with G Fox. Would you agree,
well,
Scott, that you had some freaking goals?
you,
I
you
remember
might
getting
have.
records
Yeah,
from
yeah.
there. I can't
Yeah.
remember any other. No, I take it back.
Scott, did you ever go
Didn't
to the
they-
records? Did you
There
ever
was a
go to
record store
this?
downtown. There was a record store downtown, State
Yes,
House Square.
That's what
But
that was just about to say that there
yes,
was a and it was down there over there near JJ Newberry's and the Pelican
mhm,
somewhere around there.
yes.
that was the other place I
Um,
had went to. I remember because I
oh,
actually
yo,
It was on Pratt
and
Street.
also
no, not Pratt Street, not that one.
yeah,
It was on. It
no
was
no,
on.
but there was
Shoot, man. They built it over. That's where the aisle
Allen
safety was. Darn it. I cannot think of
Allen.
the name.
Where you said where
It
was it?
was it was right downtown at the corner of Main Street
Maine.
and yeah, it was at the corner of Main Street and shoot, was that
Allen. I think it
Market?
was Allen. Allen.
No, not Allen.
No, I think it was Allen.
Oh, darn. They
It was
the
one of
aisle
those
safety
bus
used to
stops
be
right
there.
in that block from. Yeah, it was the next stop after the Mail Image.
Oh,
It was the next bus stop after the Mail Image. So it was like somewhere, like I said, it was right around there where the Pelican,
mm,
where JJ Newberry's was. You know, across the street from G Fox, diagonally.
yeah. So it had to have been one of those two or three places that I went.
And
What
also there was a
you
record
went to
store
you went
in
to
the
G
Civic Center.
Fox. Scott, did you ever go to G Fox to get records?
I I
No,
didn't know that they had
no,
a record
exactly.
store record.
Because you weren't
I went to
suburban.
I went to the
You,
one in the Civic Center.
I get all that, but you didn't go to the one in G Fox. That tells you that Regina was on a different level with her records. What record did you get from there, Regina? Regina?
She
Oh, I, I,
looks like she's
I don't know.
connecting.
Yeah, I think she's buffering or something. But we're gonna keep it going. She
Yeah.
might be answering. You never know, because sometimes it'll download and come back. Oh no, she's out. She's been hit. Yeah, I called you a few times, man. Make sure you was making it back there, okay?
Yeah, I was having issues because, as you can see, I changed my background. You know, just to try to keep it a little interesting and whatnot. So I was having uh, uh, issues with my stand and everything.
Yeah, you got
I'm
keep
good
it
now.
simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. But no, I thought the movie was good, man. I love that mom enjoyed it. Dinner was exquisite.
Yeah,
Um, what is it? Lamb chops? What we had lamb chops? Yeah,
company company was
yeah,
fantastic,
yeah.
of course. And actually, so was the pool opening party yesterday.
Mm. Pool opening party was, oh my god, a blast. Guys should have been there. It was simple: burgers, dogs, hot links, um, and s- mashed potatoes and some stuff. A lot of
Water,
potato chips,
water,
whatever.
water,
Water and Capri Suns.
and water
All right.
blasters.
Yeah, but the water gun fight was top notch. Um, I gotta tell you one thing: little kids are vicious, man. Little kids are vicious.
Oh, who you
Try to
telling?
squirt you dead in the eye, and I gave them gargles. Shout out to K Dog. You know what I mean, Kayla, in the building.
Yo,
Eventually, she will
listen,
be back on the pod at some time. She's doing a lot though. But shout out to her and the kids.
listen. The, Kamari was fighting me for the shield. And
Yes.
he won.
Hey, listen, he went from not swimming at all to being able to get from whatever end to the other end. You know what I mean? The sister, hey, say, hey,
Hmm.
listen, get on this floaty. You're gonna be good right here. You know what I mean? He was doing it all. You know what I mean? And it was the gangster dude in there. I mean, this guy was jumping in the pool. You know what I mean? Rambo Commando style. You know what I mean? He's down, he's up. He's coming out the water, just zapping him. Just bow, got him. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool too. That was cool. It was a very, very fun time.
Yeah,
Time to take a break and really like that was a good kickback. And it wasn't too much really on the cleanup neither, to be perfectly honest. Everything was pretty cool. You know what I
wasn't
mean?
bad at
Again,
all.
shout out to Kayla, man. Like Kayla
Wasn't
came
bad at
through
all.
with the dogs and the burgers. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like it was a group thing. Brothers came through with the chips. You know what I mean? Some came with the dip. You know what I mean? It was cool. You know what I mean? Sandra's in the building. Shout out to
Mhm.
Sandra. You know what I mean? Like definitely, definitely wouldn't happen without them. They yeah. The pool health and everything coming back. That was a mission, and they was with it from the beginning. So
Yo,
shout out to them. Shout out to them. Okay, Regina back with
oh,
another
there's Miss
picture. I
Dorothy. Yeah,
believe.
there's Miss
Yeah, I
Dorothy.
think it's. Yeah, there you go. Miss Dorothy and Regina. You're
Oh boy.
happy Mother's Day to her.
Oh, I'll let her know. She has fallen asleep on me watching the game.
Oh wow.
Which one? Who's
Oh,
playing?
she watched both of them. Trust me, she's a diehard basketball fan.
Okay.
I know that it was Spurs and Timberwolves
Yep, saw
was the
that.
first game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right, New York
so
was it New York and I have to check it all after the pot.
New York and Philly was last night.
All right, so was it the Lakers?
I think
No, Lakers was last night.
yeah, Lakers and OKC. So that's the question: Did the Lakers get at least one game under their belt,
I don't think so,
Yeah.
man.
or are they swept?
They're outmatched. You know what I mean? I thought LeBron did outstanding just getting past Houston and their inexperience and Kevin Durant quitting on them. I think knocked Houston out of the water. I think Kevin Durant um, is a quitter.
Ooh.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I think he quit on his team. I think these people make an extraordinary amount of money. I think the whole thing with the ankle, back in the day, tape it up, go out there, blah blah blah. It's like, yo, basically it comes down to, yo, I got an ache here. I don't feel like playing. It's
Mm.
like now he on to his like whatever
You got to put.
time team, and no team. Like he had his time, he made his money. Everybody need to go a different direction. I'm saying the truth. Somebody else don't want to say it. I'm going to say what
Hmm.
it is. He made his money. You
Hey,
know what I mean? He made it in Brooklyn without even being available because of injury and how he came there. He made it in Phoenix. You know what I mean? And he made it in you know, where is he at now? Houston. You know what I mean? Like and he made it in Oklahoma and he made it in Golden State. You know what I mean? Like he's made his money. Let somebody else come in and get some money, and that can, maybe younger or whatever, that can play a number of games that fans that pay this money can see their superstars, especially in the playoffs. I don't like
Mhm.
Luca out of the playoffs because I think we're paying people too much money to be injured like that. It's like y'all got to have an injury thing on the contract, so maybe people play hard and play through some things. I don't know, because this guaranteed money and how it's going out is giving a product that doesn't see what would really happen if people really showed out and showed up.
Mm.
I think y'all got too loose with the wallet, too quick in the NBA. I think these boys are spoiled. You know what I mean? You got a
Tell it.
41-year-old there doing the job that these young men should be doing that's in there. And when they get traded in the middle of the night, Luka Doncic, then you wonder why they're doing it. Because you ain't gonna be around. You know what I mean? You guys are tender.
Mm.
I've been playing too long. Been playing since AAU and 15 Ys. You know what I mean? So
Oh.
they really got like 1,000 miles on them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but they're highway miles. No, they're a lot of fucking miles. You know what I'm saying?
This coming from a
That's a
man
fact.
that knows his sport, which is basketball.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
mean,
not play
I
high
see
school?
what I see. I'm no Stephen A. Smith or nothing like that. I'm not Cameron. I'm not none of you guys. You guys are the greatest. I'm just saying for what I see, this guy is a quitter. He's been a quitter. The only way he got a ring is by going to a team that already had championship pedigree that just beat him the year prior. So
Mm.
that ring was a given. He went to somebody that beat him up and joined and then beat up on somebody. Like he's a coward. I'm telling you this, Kevin Durant. I know you have a burnout account. I can use the views. You are a fucking quitter. Every team you give them false hope. You go up in there. Yes, you can score. Boom, boom, boom. But you are a fucking quitter, man. That team needed you. LeBron should not have been able to get past the first round. I like LeBron. LeBron's cool. I like the whole son nepotism, all that shit. I love it. If I can leave shit to my kids and have them do shit with me, I do it all day. So I'm not against it. But I'm just saying, y'all should have knocked his old ass out. And you had a chance to. You had a chance to finally beat LeBron while albeit while he was down. But you had a chance to beat him. And you couldn't even show up. He's a
See
quitter.
here? Cry
He's a
guy.
quitter. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Shout out to
Yeah.
KD, man. You
I'm
know,
sure
a
Harold
hater
was
that
the
made
type
it.
that never quit, not even in high school.
This clip is gonna come back to haunt me. The bigger I get, I'm gonna tell you something. This clip right here, I better not run into KD. I don't think he can fight though. I'll be honest with you. I could look at him and tell he ain't got no hands like that. But
Oh
and
God.
he ain't gonna do that because I ain't nobody. But I'm just saying, like I'm gonna run into him. But I stand on that, man. I would ask him. I would ask him. We was interviewing. I would ask Katie, why do you quit on teams? You know what I mean? Like, why do you quit? Why do you all of a sudden you down and all of a sudden you injured and you can't come back out? And it's like, let me see you win without me. Then they start winning without him. They start doing something without him. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I think his career is over, man. Shout out to KD. You made a ton of money. Um, and if you didn't have money, how you look, you probably wouldn't get no broads. I'm gonna be honest with you on that too, Katie. So
Jeez.
I just wanted to,
Ain't got no game on
shout
either
out,
side. Wow.
shout out to you. You know
Zero
what I
game
mean?
on
I
either
I,
side.
I don't know about no any side. I've been doing pretty fine with no bread. So I'm cool. But KD, you made a ton of money, and you look like a genie or Aladdin or something. You know what I mean? So you know,
Make way.
invest your money wisely. Everybody, the jig is up. Everybody see what's going on with you. You's a quitter. You left your kid. I don't know. Good luck, homie. You made a ton of money. You're good.
Go forth,
Shout
Prince
out shout out
Ali.
to him. Shout out to KD.
KD, mighty is
All right,
he.
let's get to Mother's Day.
Mighty
Mother's
I
Day.
am.
Mother's Day is Mother's Day. Let me tell you something. Um, Great Mother's Day. My
I
mom is the
sent Miss
greatest.
Linda all her stuff via text. I was like, I ain't got nothing else to send, so let me just send my best wishes.
And she appreciated it. She had a wonderful time. I'm going to show all the messages tomorrow, y'all. I'm going to try to get on the pod tomorrow so I can
Yay.
finally interview my mom and get it over with. You know what I mean? Lord help me
Get it
check
away.
in. I'm gonna if this is a clip this part AI. this is a clip. Mom should be on tomorrow, and we're gonna interview mom. One of the greatest women I know. Survivor of a lot of stuff. Not just survivor, a person that just made it happen and raised
Yeah.
some great specimens afterwards. So definitely like this. Ask a couple of questions. Ask how she liked Mother's Day in the movie and shit, and just how life is going, what she feels about a few things out here. Bring it to the audience this one time. So tomorrow, special edition. Mom will be on. She'll be sitting right next to me on the couch. I'll have
Yay.
her microphone turned on and headphones, and we'll sit side by side. Camera be on both of us, so we'll just do let the AI do whatever with it. But I want to have this interview.
Looking
Um,
forward to it. Wish I could
yeah,
get
me
my
too.
mom to jump on, but it'd be a whole process. I'd be like, okay, you
Yeah,
got to sit next to me to do this. But I
yeah. I'm
might.
gonna try to come on a little bit early too. So make sure that if I definitely won't be late, but definitely would like to be on by 9:30. So
Mhm.
I say 9.
Yep.
But 9:30 will work because I already got dinner cooked. So I definitely for the Mother's Day special, we're definitely gonna be doing a pod tomorrow with the great Linda Shipley. Um,
Yay! Dun, dun,
so
dun, dun.
gonna sit back. She's gonna smoke a little
AKA
bit.
Yeah, it's
So
mom.
gonna
for
be a
all you
trip.
people that are not into certain things, she's gonna smoke. She's gonna have her wine, and she's gonna tell her story or the stories that she wants to speak on. And we're gonna appreciate that everybody shuts up, let her tell her story. You know what I mean? Recognize that when the Queen and Wisdom is gonna come and tell you some things, some of it may make some sense, some of it, quite frankly, may not. Uh, it's gonna be it's gonna be real. It's gonna be personable. It's gonna be the truth as she sees it. Okay, and got we're gonna keep her on a low tap with the
Yes, indeed.
libations. Um,
I'll always love my mama. She's my
but if we get your
favorite
mom
girl.
on, Regina, it'll be dope. But like you said, we never know what tomorrow would be. The Mother's Day special, not exactly on Mother's Day, but it's gonna be on a Monday, so that's pretty cool. Um, and we just want to do that because I too cooked for my mom today. Well, we had lamb chops. It was exquisite. It was definitely dope. It was definitely dope. And I made this cabbage. It's like a Parmesan cabbage. So it was pretty good. A nice way to eat cabbage. Um, I'm a chef, so I be just flexing. It was dope. But the lamb chops is
That's
it was dope.
that's my brother.
Again, shout out to all the mothers this Mother's Day. For you keeping the kid, taking care of the kid, doing the necessary things. We here at the Harold Knows Nothing podcast like to say Happy Mother's Day to you. And yet,
Yes.
let Mother's Day not be one day, but every day. Every time you get a chance to acknowledge your mother um, and the sacrifices that she has made and the wisdom that she has imposed on you, whether by example or by falling down and picking themselves up. You need to acknowledge that these women out here are strong and deserving of praise. So on this Mother's Day, again, us at Harold Knows Nothing podcast would like to say Happy Mother's Day to you. Wonderful women out there raising and doing
Hoo-
your job.
Hooray! I had to get on my cell phone. My internet's acting up.
Wow, I loved how you just jumped in there. I gave a heartfelt thing from Harold Knows, and you topped it right off. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You was right there on time. You said, "Hey."
It cost you nothing, like that, just like that intro
Uh,
clip I send.
yeah,
Use it or not, but I thought it was good.
yeah. I mean, I'm cool. I just don't read a lot. You know what I mean? I use what's those things called? Audiobooks.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm an audiobook person. So if it was audio to me, then that right there would be the same to me as reading it. You know what I mean? Because then I would commit it to memory, and then I would just regurgitate like a hit song. You know what I mean? It'd be like,
Listen to
hey,
that audio clip I sent you with the intro.
oh wow, all right. So what if you send it in hieroglyphics with?
No,
Because
it
then
was
no, listen, no, check it out now. Give me a little space here.
go.
It's
Okay.
it's hieroglyphics. All right, so now you got movement that go with it. So that's gonna incorporate the feeling. So if I'm doing the hieroglyphic, you feel me? If I'm doing the hieroglyphic, you dig, and
Oh
I
gosh.
have the verbiage at the same time with the audio, you're
Mhm.
talking easy peasy. You're talking about I have that thing down in probably 10 seconds. I mean, I might laugh for a whole minute in between them. But no, come on, hear me out. But in, in between then, but I guarantee we'll have it and the world would be better for it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Yeah, the
All I
world would
want
be
to know
better
if
for
he
it.
had heard my audio clip. That's all.
I didn't hear, but I heard you. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? So it's different
You
than
should. Not for nothing.
no,
You
was it
should.
no was it on was it like because you send a lot of stuff, so this time I'm telling you, was it the last thing that you sent?
No, wasn't the last thing that I said.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. So if you gotta, it's got we have to have like a code or something that we gotta go so that you be like, hey, listen, you need to listen to this. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
what if you're sending me information on a really hot story? You're like, yo, you need to see this. We gotta have a code, like lumberjack back.
Oh
You know what I mean?
gosh.
So no, listen, hear me out. So if you say lumberjack back, you know what I mean? I'd be
Mhm.
like, right back at you, Jack. Like, boom,
Okay.
right there. We know, okay, that
Okay.
that's
Um,
the real story. Now, there's no nuances. This you can't just use any lumberjack back. You know what I'm saying? You have to make sure you use the right nuances when you
oh
do it. Because if it's like kind of high, and we can tell in the text if it's high, right? No, not really.
gosh.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
anyway, we'll work it out the kinks. But your wealth of information. Always appreciate your attempt to make the show better. Okay.
I try.
You know what I mean? So this is the baby that be. Oh, I actually we gotta applaud ourselves that we also moved up to 61 subscribers. So I have to clap it up for
Yay.
that. Yes, I have to clap it up for that.
Yay, yay.
61. Y'all hear the applause? I don't know if do y'all hear it? Maybe. Or
Mm,
y'all don't hear it. Do you hear the applause?
Yeah.
I do. I
No?
does. I does.
You know what? The universe does.
I can
Okay?
hear it.
But no, definitely a shout out to the fans that subscribed on. We started with, just getting that 50 was hard enough, and we up to 61. Again, one that subscriber that just come on all the time and will always be talked about. It is definitely going to be at Shannon55. Shout out to her. She lost a loved one a year or so ago. I believe it was a husband. So that was something that she shared on the pod that I wanted to make sure that she know that you know always welcome to discuss your issues and be supportive. So and for being the first real fan like that, we're gonna try to get you one of these mugs. Um, just for being like real talk, the first person to not only subscribe, in that first group anyway, but to be the first one to interact with us on multiple podcasts. We're gonna definitely make sure that we you gotta send your info so we can send some merch out to you. Regina, so I know that you are minimalizing the cooking for your mom, but I think that's a great thing on Mother's Day because it's about time and recognition. So I don't think you should minimize that. I think that's
Mm.
something to be celebrated. It's to be commended. I think that that's a great thing. Real talk, because you got I'm not going to say any names, Hakeem, Linda, or whatever, that may have not even called my mom on
Oh
Mother's
dear.
Day. But um, so shout out to you for being available, being there, being present, and doing those things. Those things are not going to go unnoticed in the universe.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Yeah,
just I'm just
that's
doing
what
my
it is.
job. It's been me and mom from birth. I have lived more time. I've lived more of my life with her than apart from her, and that's just fact. And amazingly enough, we don't get on each other's nerves. I mean, from time to time, but it's no big thing.
And why is that?
They're
Mm.
the Golden Girls.
Yeah, my mom was actually pretty cool people. Funny as all get out, but usually at my expense.
Yeah, she is.
Well, that's what the youth is.
Oh yeah.
We're comedy for the gods, for the elders.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because
Yes.
they've seen some movements, they've been through the moods, they've walked down the road, and so you know when you seen it and then you see somebody do it in slow motion, it's funny as fuck. When I look at my
Yep.
grandkids or my kids do certain things, I stop getting mad and I start laughing more. And I start
Hmm.
understanding a lot about me and what I was because some of the BS I shared with them. You know what I mean? Like don't go at your kids holier than thou as if you weren't them at a point in time. You know what I mean? Because you were. Whatever music was important to you at the
That's a
time,
fact.
whatever person was important to you at the time, everything was what it was. You know what I mean? So you always got to remember that. You know what I mean? Shout out to my daughter Jaleesa, great young
Yay.
lady. My juicy nails. Got had to shout her out. She has been on the podcast. Definitely got me some views. Definitely appreciate her. Um, great, awesome mom. Isis, awesome mom, and Sasha, awesome mom. All right, so shout out to my daughters that have kids, awesome moms. That's a fact.
Daddy's proud of
Appreciate
you.
that. Yeah, absolutely. More than proud of them. It's a fact. It's not manufactured. I can give good examples. You know what I mean? They provide. They make sure that they're safe and you know making sure opportunities will be there for them. They're not without mistakes or anything else that people would have in life, but they make a genuine attempt to make sure that their kids come first and
Hmm.
that they're provided for and cared
Oh my
for,
gosh.
and they're remarkable.
I am floored. When I was at church running the check, one of my church sisters came up to me and she was like, I want to thank you for everything, that you do for so many people at this church. You're such a nurturing person. She gave me a check for
Mm.
$100.
There you have it.
I was like, I don't
See,
know
that
what I
was
did, but thank you.
that's a blessing. You know what I mean? That's a blessing for your lesson. Yeah, it's a blessing for
Yeah,
your lessons.
just gotta pay it forward. I mean, yes, I mean, not all of us have biological children, but we nurture and support however we can. So that's one of my, uh, that's part of my purpose of being here. Love and serve some
Yeah.
people.
Well, that's good to know.
Great attitude.
All right, it's
I don't
cool.
I don't
It's
I
like,
don't know
sister, if
if
you're
I'm
part
here
of
to
the inner
serve.
circle, I am there for you.
I don't know if I'm here to serve people. You think so?
In your way.
Question. Yeah. What you mean my own way?
Yeah,
Everybody's in their
I
own
think we
way.
all serve. We all
Everybody's in their own way.
exactly.
What were you saying, Scott?
I said we're all here to serve a
Yeah.
purpose or multiple purposes. Either way, like I said, we're food, humor for the
Mhm.
gods.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I think so.
Because when, like I said, when you've been through a situation, and then you see someone go through the exact same situation, the exact same way that you did it, you know, and you know the exact same hubris exhibited and whatnot, and
Facts.
Mm.
it's hilarious because you
It's
try to
definitely
give them a clue and they ignore it. They totally ignore it. Remember the guy with the tire?
yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember I
and
remember
and
when
Harold.
the next the next day you said, "Hey, um, all right, so I'm gonna follow you down." I said, "Nah." I said, "This dude told us yesterday." You know what I'm saying? Did you see the story of? And it proceeded to show us the story of a food truck that flipped over or whatever, going down the 41 or
Yep.
something like that. So yeah, I was like, nah, you don't need the universe to tell you something a million times for you to get it. And my brother, sometimes he can be a little bit strong headed. He's like, hey, this way. I'm like, no, listen, ain't no way everything on the point and tell me don't do it, and we still do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
No, not today. You know what I'm saying? We had a whole conversation. We're good. You know what I mean? We even agreed on it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna stick to it, Charlie. Because we're not gonna be the next story in the fucking idiot page of, hey, I sent where's that story when Jesus sent the boat, sent everything to this motherfucker. And he just didn't take it. He just said, hey, fuck it, I know better. I was like, nah,
Jonah.
I do not know better. I'm gonna take the boat, I'm gonna take the advice. And just get out the way.
Okay.
You know what I
The
mean?
date,
We just
the,
gonna,
the date palms. You know.
yeah, yeah. No, that right there is Jonah
Yeah.
and the whale. He had the date tree. He done been saved from suffocating with the whale. He was given sustenance and shade, and still did not appreciate anything because all he was trained to see was what he didn't have, not what he had. So when somebody takes everything from you, you have nothing. Then you're stripped down to see what you really have. So then you'll see what you have. You'll see what family you have. You see what friends you have. You'll see what lover you have. You see what community that you've built around you. You know
You
what I
see
mean?
what your faith. You see what your faith is made of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just say you see what you build around you. You know what I mean? My faith is in what I've built around me. Did I build the right friends around me? You know what I mean? Like, do we love and support each other, one another? You know what I mean? Do we operate in that field? You know what I mean? Like, I have to have faith in that. I don't. No offense, but it's not for me to have like faith in something I don't see. I can see what I've built. I can see who's around me. My faith is in what I've built around me by the influences of the people of faith. So it may not be following the faith that they have, but it uses the same wisdom. It uses the same stories from the Bible or from the Iliad or from any other known literature. It will carry same good principles that are good for man and good for humanity. You know what I mean? But my faith is definitely stoic. It's in what I've seen, what I've built. You know what I mean? When I say lifelong friends, this man's been my friend lifelong. Am I lying, brother?
Not one bit.
We were two totally different paths. You know what I mean? His is a decorated military. Mine is something quite different. But either way, we are still stronger friends than we've ever been. So, you know what I mean? It's what you build. Don't fault the people around you. Fault your building skills. You know what I mean? Where was your compromise? Where was your strength? Where was your integrity? What was these things? Where were these things? Where was these things when you were building with the person? I can tell you, this man, in for a penny, in for a pound. So if we're gonna go hard at something, we're gonna go hard. This is it. So
It
I don't have to question that. He knows
Yep.
the same way.
it's a beautiful thing.
And
I see what the two of you have. It's a beautiful thing to see, and it's very rare.
it's only rare. It's only rare because it's not really that rare. There's a lot of people that are friends out here. It's just not advertised as much. Maybe we'll be the poster child for it. You know, that we don't fall out because we have not. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it's not an amount of money that can make me fall out with it. Somebody could throw me a $10 billion, and he'd be like, I think I deserve 90%. All right, nigga, take 90%. What do I care for? None of this
Mhm.
shit goes with me when I leave. I know the realistic view of life. Just so people know out there. You can throw me a shit ton of money. It would not fucking matter. It'd be great. So don't get it fucked up. Be great than a motherfucker. Okay?
He's like,
For
let me
all
put
parties
my
involved.
myself in this for a minute.
For all parties involved. But what I'm saying is it wouldn't change who I am. It wouldn't my character would still be my character. You know what I mean? My girl would get the majority, my homie would get the majority. Like my standing and what everything is, as long as everybody knows, as long as everybody follows the plan of and structure, you know what I mean, of trust and I mean a real trust, right? Um, the rest of this shit means nothing to me because the only influence we have towards the future is what we invest in now. So you should be investing in relationships. People tell you, "Oh yeah, go it alone," and blah blah blah. No, you need a team. You need a team. There's nobody. Everybody out there that's telling you to do it by yourself has a team with them telling you to do it by yourself. Book of Harold.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. Look at this shit. They're telling you to go out there and be independent because they know together you will be more powerful. If you repair your decent relationships and people structure things together, you be more powerful. But they teach you separatism so that you don't get so that you you're not as strong. You're
Mhm.
weak. Your arguments become weak, even if they're valid. They become weak because you don't have a team. The people that tell you you don't need a team, you need by yourself, get you together, and they're acting like it's no. You need your team to help get you together. You know what I mean? You don't have enough in you by yourself, bro.
Takes a
You're
village.
built for your team. You're built for your team to build you up on some special forces shit. You're built for
Take
your team to build you up. So your ability to be built up by your team is what you're going to be measured by. Is that a proper analysis, Scott?
I think so.
You feel me? So for me, your ability for your to for your team to be able to build you up is your value. If your team can't build you up, if you can't begin to formulate something and make something, then that's where you feel defeated. That's where you go into your hole by yourself. You know what I mean? You need your team, so you got to find your team. You got to invest. You have emotional capital into your team. You know what I mean? You can't always be right. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
I'm
have to have
hardly worried
empathy. You
about
have to
being
know how to
right.
move. Eh, I mean,
So
that's a hard
consciously or
one. It's easier
subconsciously,
said than done.
yeah,
That's it. That's it.
and it's a daily battle because I have to catch myself, whenever I start slipping into
Mm.
that mode. So
So, you know, but again, your team helps you manage your ego because your team's gonna hold you accountable. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
people that don't care about you let you do anything. You know what I mean? Remember that. People that don't
let you
care about
crash
you,
out.
they let you do anything. They let you crash out. You gotta look at them when they're saying, "Yeah, you could do this. Yeah, we're gonna do that." You feel me? Somebody gotta
Hmm.
talk somebody off the ledge.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's a
Because
fact.
People that don't really care
be,
about you aren't invested in you. I mean, they could literally, as you said, care less. And I pay attention to
well,
those persons who,
people can invest in you monetarily and still not care about you.
oh, I'm not
At the end
concerned
of the
about,
day, you're
I'm not talking
serving
about the money. The money
you're
don't mean
ser-
jack to
you
me. The money does not
all
mean
right, but what
jack
I'm
to me at
saying
all.
all right, well, it may not to you, but it means something to me.
No
But what I'm
gosh.
saying is it's just not the equivalent. You dig? It's not the equivalent. You know what I mean? Because you can get more money. You can't get more time.
That is truly
You
finite.
dig?
One, one, one resource once it's spent, you can't get it back. You can't make more
Yes.
of it.
Yeah. I mean, stop it equating it. That shit ain't the same. That's why I said, like, cooking a meal is more than taking somebody out. Because it's the time. The more time you have around, the more time, because that's all you're going to want when someone's not around. It's more time. You're not going to want another fucking dollar. You're going to want more time. You're going to want another day, another chance, another sunrise, another year. You feel me?
Mm.
That's just the reality for people that really care. Now, for people that don't care, they want a dollar. But when you're on the bed and you're stretched out on the gurney or whatever the fuck your situation is, that's not what you're asking for. You're asking for another breath. You're asking for another chance. You're asking for more time.
That's very poetic.
It's a fact, my friend. It's a cold-blooded fact. You know what I mean? And the people around you inspire you to ask. The people around you inspire you to ask for more time. So when you have quality people around you that you love, it gives you a zest or zeal for living. If you have people that live in the shadows and is under doom and gloom, it doesn't inspire you to live. You know what I mean? It doesn't inspire you to swim in the pool. It doesn't inspire you to wake the fuck up. So you need your tribe. You can't get that by yourself. You say, I'm gonna get it from praying. That's cool. And whoever you're praying to, I guess. But I know for me, it's the people that I surround myself with. They're not just old or older or my age, they may be even younger, but they inspire me to get the fuck up instead of living in a closet. Because that's what a room is. A room is a fucking closet. I don't care how big your house is, your room is still a fucking closet. if you're now out and about and feeling things, like the breeze on your face, like the water when you jump in your pool or whatever, the ocean, like getting in your boat and you know what I mean, feeling that engine turn on and go down, or just going to the park, throwing the frisbee. Not down here right now. It's gonna get hot as a motherfucker. This is slow season right now. This is when no one
Throwing
comes
the,
here.
he
But
said
we're
throwing
good
the
because we got the
frisbee.
pool. The yeah, no, real talk. Throwing the frisbee,
No,
having
we threw
fun.
the frisbee. You, me, and Scott
Yes,
threw that frisbee at Trinity Park, and I
yes.
lost the darn thing, but it was fun.
Oh my
That was
God, you
late at
still
night.
remember losing it? I don't think you
Yeah.
lost it. I think you remember you just
No,
misplaced it.
we lost it because we were out on the Trinity Quad and it was late at night, like 11 p.m. or something like that. And I had brought my rope and we just throwing it around. And next thing you know, I was like, oh, where'd it go?
Oh yeah. I remember that shit. We're over
But
near
see,
the
th-
spat.
those those are memories. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Those are the things you want to recreate. Those are the things that are important to you at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Make a dollar bill, make it count because you're purchasing your freedom. That's all we're doing here, people. We're purchasing our freedom. You know what I mean? So it could be um, having a restaurant, it could be doing music, it can be being a fireman, it could be whatever. But you're purchasing your freedom. You're purchasing how much time you want to spend with your people, and you have to equate that. The more you make, in a faster time, we call it mailbox money, the more time you get to spend with your people and create more memories. And those memories will carry on. Trust me, they will carry on. And the greater your story, the more it will carry on. Michael Jackson's story will be told to fucking Martians.
Mhm.
Okay? That's what I learned today. Michael Jackson's story will be told to Martians, to aliens, because that's how much of his energy signature he's left in this world and beyond. Because it's
Mhm.
televised, it's being projected everywhere. All right. So that signature, that's going somewhere. Wouldn't you like to do? I ain't gonna say that, big, because you don't need to be that big to really carry on as long. But just do something of note. You know what I mean? Make people respect and honor you. Help out when you can. You know what I mean? Like make a difference. Um, Try to be a good person. You know what I mean? Try to be tolerant of people. Try to see the humanity in people. Um, that's what we like to do here
Show
at Hero.
Don't be a shit bag.
show empathy. Show empathy.
Yeah, I just see the humanity in
Because
people. Know that people have their
generally,
reasons. Get rid of labels and tags, and try to address the humanity in people. You know, get rid of your black and your white and your brown and your yellow, and just look at the humanity in the person. If you can get to at least a point of that, I think you'll be closer to what you're looking for as far as being happy. And that's on anybody, just trying to look at the humanity. The labels are getting old real quick. Um, so people are catching on to humanity. Oh, Regina, you took down your avatar.
No, because I'm talking through my cell phone. My internet was
Oh,
just acting stupid on my computer.
oh, so you knew how to do it on your computer, not on your phone, your avatar.
I haven't figured that out yet.
Well, at least you got the that you got the computer because that was impressive, and you changed it a couple of times. So you're dancing around there. You're dancing around there.
Oh, I've got talents y'all don't even know about.
And listen, your church is blessed to have you. Okay.
I'm even talking about beyond that. I've got a treasure trove of skill and talent that I have not even expressed how I want to express yet.
Well, I'm sure you'll have your opportunity sooner or later. You know, opportunity favors the bold. You know what I mean? I always tell people
That's
that.
right.
You know what I mean? You might have to jump out there and make you um, a hip hop church album. Okay,
I don't
called "I
see
Heard
my.
It All Before" and I done did this shit. And, you know, we'll work with the name. We'll work with the name, but this, but we can get it cracking. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I
What?
see so much
What?
that,
I'm always trying to help people, and
which is
I don't know.
which is great. I've always wanted to entertain and perform, whether it was by song, by spoken word, by dance, theater.
You can speak the word or whatever. Just let me mix it, okay? And yeah, well, once I mix it in the appropriate order of things,
Throw a little
you're gonna
AI on it.
yeah you no AI at all. You know, kind of a little bit, but listen, it's gonna be the purest of the pure, okay? And this is gonna get listen. They're gonna see you and a light. You know what I mean? And you know, so on and so forth. So
There's a lot to see. Oh my gosh.
yeah, yeah.
If in 1995 you can adopt your own child,
Oh gosh. I attempted that once. Didn't quite work out like I thought, but that's another
Oh
story.
man, Sally Struthers be she was I don't know what she was doing with them babies out there, but Sally Struthers was out there, man, in Africa. This a whole mess, and I remember that stuff. I don't see. I think they still have some kind of version of it today, but as we know, Africa is not poor. Um, a lot of people make a lot of money off of scamming.
Mhm.
Africa being poor is one of the biggest scams ever sold to us. I think it's one of the biggest scams ever sold to us. The immensity, the size of the continent has been devalued on the map, as we well know. It's well documented. It is what it is. Um,
yep.
the wealth that's possessed, what they have there. You know what I mean? Remember, you know, what people don't understand is like when you think of Saudi and all this stuff, remember that's still Africa. You know what I mean? Like some of these places that you guys like, you guys don't know where a lot of shit is coming from. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't think a lot of people have looked at a fucking map.
Over here.
You know what I mean? No, real talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I lying here? You know what I mean?
Nope.
So at the end of the day, history is a shared history, but history is only his story. You know what I mean? So a story told is just a story told. Um, the continent is a birthplace believed by many of a lot of things. If you believe his story as told to you, you know what I mean. I haven't traveled myself. My brother has. You know, went south, so real south. You know what I mean. So that counts for something. But as far as going overseas, like that's coming soon. As all this stuff calms down or whatever. Um,
Mm.
but and even I was gonna do the boat ride thing, but then you know this COVID like thing came out recently. What's the name of it, Regina? Is it
Hantavirus?
Hanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
No,
this hantavirus
it's
son,
not.
and they had to put people bury them at sea. You feel me? Like, and then some people already got off the boat, got flown off, and you know what I mean, and they don't already went back into the world. And does this not sound like COVID? Does this not sound like the same thing? I know I'm a little shell shocked because I'm in a different position than I was then when with COVID. You know what I mean? So it would be a whole total different, state of mind. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, um, it just screams the same bullshit. But they voted for certain
Well,
presidents twice. They can pull bullshit over your eyes anytime they feel like, and people go for it. So who am I to say anything about this bullshit, right?
well, it's like every 5 years there's a culling, and so it's at first it was the Asian flu, then it was it was the bird flu, then it was the mad cow, then it was the every 5 years
I
there's
get
a culling.
I get that, but it still was nothing like we had not experienced nothing in my lifetime like COVID. When did you
Yeah,
experience anything like COVID where it was 6 feet away, you
nothing.
couldn't go without your papers? You know what I mean? Like this shit was like the fucking sci-fi movie. Like
When the
like
mumps, when
I know we
when the
forget
mumps
things
was
really
coming.
rather quickly out here in this country because we're a real pop culture type country. But let's be clear, COVID shut this bitch down. Only reason I could move around because I was driving a truck. So I had CDL. That's what allowed me to move around out here. And I thought because I could move around that my artists could move around the same way, and they really couldn't. You know what I mean? Like that shit really happened, and it didn't happen for a couple of months. It happened for a couple of years. You know what I mean? In total. You talking about people that got swept underneath the rug that they said they died, and you don't know if they really died from COVID or a person assassinated them because it was that mysterious.
Mm.
How soon do we forget? Fred the Godson, shout out to him. We did work with him. One of my artists, ended up being on some whatever bitch ass shit. But shout out to them too. Now I guess I don't care. Um, but I had them, Fred the Godson do a feature with them, and they did the video. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, he was dead from COVID. Had a favor that he needed to hit me back on, and he was willing to do it because he's stand up guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, some wild shit, man. So we really forget really quickly how quick this whole world was shut down, damn near. You know what I mean? Florida was one of the few states that was bucking the whole
Mm.
time. You know what I mean? Like y'all come out here, get sick, do whatever, it don't matter. We doing what we want to
Mhm.
do here. Can't tell us nothing. Cause there's always gonna be a group you can't tell us nothing. You know what I mean? All I cared about is making sure my mom didn't get sick. You know what I
Shoot.
mean? Like
I
yeah,
just think
Yeah,
about
and
the
you got to
fact
facts.
remember,
that
you
when
got to
COVID was
Facts.
hitting,
remember, you got
I
to
was
ride.
just getting off of chemotherapy. Just getting off of chemotherapy.
Oh
Like
wow.
2, 3 weeks later, boom. It's like we got lockdown. I was like, oh shoot.
But I remember you got Ma out of Connecticut just in time, just before they locked that bitch down, before they locked
Yes.
down Connecticut and New York
And
and
had him
whatnot.
had it with me in Texas. Made her retire
Yeah.
early. No
Mm.
took no no's for an answer. But that's a different story. We'll talk about that in the pod tomorrow. Let's wrap it up here. Hey, listen, y'all. All right, keep your spirits up, like your drawers. I see, Tina. I'll be writing my own shit. Um,
Oh
from us here at
gosh.
Harold Knows Nothing
Nothing.
Nah, darn it.
podcast. Scott, Black Rambo, and Regina, absolutely the queen. We're out for the night. Catch you guys tomorrow at probably I'd say 9:30. Um, but maybe a little bit early because Mama might want to, not be up too late. So
Mhm.
we'll get into it tomorrow and see her review on Michael Jackson because she was from the older, the younger Michael Jackson all the way through. So we'll hear her thoughts on that and more things in life. All right.
Looking
So
forward to it.
all right.
Thank you,
Man,
Scott. Thank you, Harold.
yeah.
Yo,
Yeah, thanks.
shout out to the children, to the mother of my children.
Aw.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Happy Mother's Day once again from Harold Knows Podcast. I had a whole dissertation. You will see it tomorrow. It was only about 30, 40 seconds. So before Regina came back in. All right. This is the most long, drawn out freaking goodbye ever. All right. Hey, we're gonna start numbering the episodes starting tomorrow. All right. So um get used to what we had, but now everything's in. We won't have too much black screen, so just to be warned, Regina, anybody with black screen will probably be editing out. Just because we get more views when we don't have the black screen. So so we're gonna make sure that's clear with everybody.
I'll have it. I'll
Just
have
on
an
the edit thing,
avatar or something.
yeah. As long as you have an avatar or something, we're good. But black screen does, because sometimes what it does, it lands on that. So on the YouTube, it won't show anything for a picture. So then I have to go in and try to paste one in, and it hasn't been working. So anyway, thank you. We'll catch
You're
you guys
welcome.
tomorrow. Special Mother's Day. Mom will be in the building. You know. All right.
Night all.
Remember, Harold knows nothing.
Ah.